On the news, President Buhari warns public officials against interfering with government recruitment, seeks National Assembly approval for ambassadorial nominees. Delta State Governor and wife test positive for COVID-19 as state toll nears 1,000. And UK offers Hong Kong residents citizenship as China imposed new security laws on the semi-autonomous region. Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Annetta Felix. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed ministries, departments and agencies to disregard any purported requests from government officials aiming to confer undue advantage on anyone seeking government jobs and favors. The president gave the directive in a statement issued on his behalf by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed. In the statement, the president said the warning became necessary following reports of fraudsters used on the business cards and purported referral letters from presidential aides and other government officials to solicit employment, contract and other favors. Buhari said, quote, "This system should be allowed to work for all Nigerians without interference." The directive is coming hours after Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, alleged that lawmakers at the National Assembly are seeking to take control of the federal initiative to recruit 774,000 citizens into the Public Works Program. President Buhari has asked lawmakers at the National Assembly to review and approve a list of 42 ambassadorial nominees for appointment. The list, which contained the names of one career ambassador and 41 non-career nominees, was read on the floor of the Senate during plenary on Tuesday. The president also asked the upper chamber to confirm the appointment of 3 nominees as commissioners in the Federal Civil Service Commission and the appointment of a federal commissioner for the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission.
I have the honor to forward for confirmation by the Senate the appointment of Mr. Suleiman Sani as career ambassador designate from the FCT. Copy of his curriculum vitae is attached herewith. It is my hope that this request will receive the usual expeditious consideration of the Senate. Please accept, the single Senate President, the assurances of my highest consideration. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari. Dear distinguished Senate President, appointment of non-career ambassadors designate. In accordance with Section 171, subsections 1, 2c, and subsection 4 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, I have the honor to forward for confirmation by the Senate the underlisted 41 names of nominees as non-career ambassadors designate. Copies of their curriculum vitae are here attached herewith. 1. Engineer Umar Suleiman, Adamawa. Mr. Kevin Peter, Adamawa. Oboro Effiong Akpabio, Akwa Ibom. Chief Elijah Onyagba, Anambra. Abubakar D. Ibrahim C. Bauchi, Philip K. Ikurusi, Bayelsa, Honorable Tazu Temen, Benue, Paul Oga Adiku, Benue, Al-Bishir Ibrahim Al-Hussein, Borno.
President Muhammadu Buhari earlier today presided over a virtual meeting of the Federal Executive Council. The meeting had held at the council chamber of the presidential villa in Abuja. It had a small number of ministers physically present, with the rest joining online. At the meeting, ministers and heads of agencies presented memos and proposals for approval by Executive Cabinet. This is the 6th time members of the council will be meeting virtually since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Federal High Court in Abuja has rejected the bail applications filed by kidnap kingpin Hamisu Bala, also known as Wadume, and 6 others. Justice Binta Nyako, in her ruling on the defendant's application, ordered them to be immediately moved from the custody of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the police to the Kuje Correctional Facility in Abuja. The judge ruled that there was no reason to grant the defendants bail while the case was already being given an accelerated hearing. Wadume was first arrested in Ibi, Taraba State in August last year by policemen from the Intelligence Response Team of the Inspector General of Police Office. While he was being conveyed to Abuja, soldiers led by Captain Tijani Balarabe shot at the convoy, killing 3 of the policemen before freeing Wadume from custody. He was later arrested for interrogation before he was charged, along others, in February this year. And let's take a look at security matters. President of the Nigerian Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has charged the Inspector General of Police to provide a time frame for the implementation of the community policing in the country. Lawan gave the charge when the police IG, Mohammed Adamu, and his management team appeared at the National Assembly for an interactive session with the Senate Committee on Police Affairs. The Senate also stressed that there would be a need to recruit more men and women to show up the present number that is inadequate for the present security challenges. The police IG, on his part, gave a brief account of the implementation of community policing in Nigeria.
We must have clearly defined milestones and timelines on the implementation of the community policing. Very specific things. Something that we can go back to in 3 months, in 6 months, and say, where are we exactly? You might have been implementing the community policing, and this meeting is an opportunity for you to give us an update of where you have which states you have implemented the community policing and how it happened and how successful it is. And those states that you have not will need a program, a line of activities. Steps 1, 2, 3, 10. You start implementation, so dates.
I've briefed them on the implementation of community policing strategy, what we have done so far in all the states of the Federation. All the committees for the implementation of the community policing strategy have been inaugurated in almost all the states of the Federation. We are at this level of selecting the community policing officers. Now we hope by August, September, we'll complete the process. The criminals are coming from our communities, which means within the community, everybody, if you come from that community, you'll be able to identify that A, B, or C are engaged in acts that either will lead to commission of crime or they are committing the crime. So because you come from the community, you identify them, you'll be able to let the community policing committee in the ward or at the local government level to identify these people so as to take them out before they commit the crime.
President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has said that the legislature is the most misunderstood arm of government. Lawan said this in his remarks sequel to a motion considered on the International Day of Parliamentarianism, sponsored by Senator Ifeanyi Ubah of the Young Progressives Congress, YPP, Anambra South. According to the President of the Senate, this development poses a challenge which required parliamentarians to educate and enlighten citizens on the functions and roles of the Parliament.
I'm further concerned that parliaments all over the world are needed more than ever to put in place legislation to respond to the health and economic crisis occasioned by COVID-19 pandemic, protect vulnerable peoples, and help scrutinize government actions and spending. Senate accordingly resolved to congratulate the Interparliamentary Union and community of parliamentarians in the world over on this occasion of the International Day of Parliamentarism, and urge parliamentarians in Nigeria, both in the state and federal levels, to use this opportunity to take stock and reposition themselves as the pivot of democracy and nation building in the country.
Have a challenge. We need to continue to educate and enlighten our citizens to know exactly what our functions are. The legislature is, without any argument, the most misunderstood part of government, arm of government that people themselves vote for. Yet, we are so misunderstood. So it is our responsibility as a parliament to continue to enlighten the people that we represent on what is expected of us.
On Digi 360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent. Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dullards that call themselves governors in this country. I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly. God forbid that I go to join that standard.
Digi 360, providing clarity to issues.
Former Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has won the primary election conducted by the APC to choose a candidate to replace deceased federal lawmaker Bayo Oshinowo. Oshinowo, who represented Lagos East, died from COVID-19 complications 2 weeks ago, leaving his seat at the Senate vacant. Other Lagos APC members who indicated interest to replace Oshinowo include former lawmaker Gbenga Ashafa, former Lagos Speaker Adeyemi Ikuforoji, and Abike Dabiri Erewa. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party says no fewer than 7 of its members have reportedly indicated interest to contest in a by-election to fill the seat at the Senate. According to the law, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has 90 days to conduct a by-election after the National Assembly declares the position vacant. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has won all 16 chairmanship and 168 councillorship positions in Taraba State. The election, which held on Tuesday, was boycotted by the All Progressives Congress and witnessed low voter turnout. Governor Darius Ishaku, who also participated in the voting process, expressed satisfaction with the conduct of the council election, describing it as peaceful. 1 in every 5 of the world's out-of-school children is in Nigeria, and this is according to statistics by the United Nations Children Education Fund. These children are often exposed to the dangers of the streets, but here in Lagos, there's an academy that's peaking these children off the streets with the beauty of arts. Adishawa Odushaga now reports.
According to statistics, over 60% of Lagos residents live in abject poverty and are spread across over 100 slums scattered across the city. And for parents who fall in this category, basic education often becomes an unaffordable luxury. Kids in these areas end up on the streets of Lagos as destitute, exposed to all kinds of abuse, child labor, child trafficking, and some even recruited into illegal cult groups.
The place we always stay is not good at all. They are always fighting there. They always do all these bad things, and there were no place for us to stay. So my dad didn't have money to look for house to collect. So in the morning, if we wake up, we'll just walk around. Anywhere night meet us, we sleep there.
When trailer come and break our house, we don't stay anywhere. We stay outside, back of the field where they play ball. We don't have anywhere to go. When they say that we should get us from the back of the field, then send fire to the white sign to come and burn white sign, and fire burnt other place. We don't have any place to go.
But there is one person changing this narrative with the use of art. A former Arasin, formerly an indigene of the slum, founded the Gift Steppers Academy in 2017. An art academy which uses art to reach out to disadvantaged children living in Lagos. She was inspired by the ugly experiences of her childhood growing up in the slum.
Dance started helping me, dance fed me, fed my siblings, dance paid my school fees, and I felt if God could help me, if God could use the arts to help me, to pay my school fees, to send me to school, to give me clothes, to give me a proper education, then God can also help every homeless kids out there. Then I started to reach out to homeless kids. I started to reach out to less privileged kids. I started to reach out to kids that are dropped out, kids that don't go to school.
At some point, the numbers of these children were growing and it was becoming really uncomfortable to accommodate them in a little hostel where she trains as a professional dancer.
You know, kids will be kids and started loitering the environment, started throwing dirt, you know, because of their background, they're from the slum, they don't know how to keep environment clean, they don't know how to stay quiet. I started destroying government properties and my boss was like, Oma, you have to send these kids away or you lose your job. Then I said to myself, I have to reach a balance. I talked to God, I prayed to God, God, please help me. Then by the grace of God, I borrowed money from our cooperative in my office. I collected money, I rented an apartment because I was in a haste, I don't want to lose my job.
Training children from different backgrounds, especially slum areas, on learning their slum-like behavior didn't come easy.
You know, they're slum kids, they're used to, they're mad, they crazy, all those stuff. You have to teach them and take all those things out from them. It's not easy. I taught them all that with the help of God daily, gradually. And also, you know, street kids, they will steal, they pick things on the floor. They pick things from people's pockets. When you keep something, they steal it. So it has not been easy. I try with my best to make sure I change their mentality.
With over 30 children in her care, Alma says paying for school fees, house rent and feeding has become an Herculean task. She calls for the support of the government to fund their expenses.
It has not been easy paying their school fees, but I thank God, God has been helping through performances. If I go for performance, God has been helping us, and through some individuals. Feeding is another aspect that has been like, because these kids, they have to eat. What do you want to tell them?
Ifeoma Harrison has a dream to take more children off the street, grooming and nurturing them into societal acceptable persons. But for limited space and funding, Ifeoma says this dream is far from coming true. Adeshawa Odushoga, TV360, Lagos.
Let's take a break here, but still to come. Plateau shuts down another healthcare center as 3 staff test positive for COVID-19.
Hello, I'm Dr. Taufik Adeyemi, consultant orthopedic spine surgeon at National Orthopedic Hospital, Grovile, Lagos. I'm here on the platform of Scoliosis Focus Initiative program on World Scoliosis Day. Scoliosis is an abnormal sideway curvature of the spine with some rotation. These patients present with uneven shoulders, hump in the back, and even pelvis. Majority of these cases are painless. Up to 5% of our population have scoliosis, and majority of them are idiopathic, meaning that the cause is unknown. You need a thorough history examination with quality X-ray to make an assessment. Your doctor will advise you on the best treatment modality for your child. Scoliosis Focus Initiative is organizing a 2-week free online consultation to help you during this COVID-19 pandemic.
You're welcome back. Here are the top stories we've been bringing you at this time. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed ministries, departments and agencies to disregard any purported requests from government officials aiming to confer undue advantage on anyone seeking government jobs and favors. Though the presidency says the directive is aimed at halting the activity of fraudsters. It's coming hours after Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, clashed with lawmakers at the National Assembly over the recruitment of 774,000 Nigerians into the Public Works program. President Muhammadu Buhari has asked lawmakers at the National Assembly to review and approve a list of 42 ambassadorial nominees for appointment. The president also asked the upper chamber to confirm the appointment of 3 nominees as commissioners in the Federal Civil Service Commission and the appointment of a Federal Commissioner for Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission. The Federal High Court in Abuja has rejected the bail applications filed by kidnap kingpin Hamisu Bala, also known as Odume, and 6 others. Justice Bintan Yako, in a ruling on the defendant's application, ordered them to be immediately moved from the custody of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the police to the Kuje Correctional Facility in Abuja. Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa and his wife have tested positive for COVID-19. Governor Okowa made this known on Wednesday on his verified Twitter handle, writing that he and his wife are well and have been isolating and are currently under medication. He also thanked the people of Delta for their continued prayers for his family, particularly his daughter. Delta State has recorded 965 confirmed cases of COVID-19 since it recorded its index case on April 8, 2020. As of Tuesday, June 30th, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control confirmed that Nigeria has 25,694 cases of COVID-19, with 590 deaths and 9,746 recoveries. A primary healthcare clinic in Jos has been shut down. The clinic is located at Ngwarimi community in Jos North local government area of Plateau State. Senior Information Officer of Jos North local government area, Philip Eplong, confirmed the development in a statement on Wednesday, saying the primary healthcare clinic has been sealed. This comes as the NCDC confirmed that at least 3 members of the hospital staff tested positive to COVID-19. The 3 infected staff have been quarantined for proper treatment, while the remaining 12 who tested negative had gone into self-isolation. The Kogi State government has responded to the Wednesday attack of the Federal Medical Center, in which some properties were destroyed. Gunmen reportedly attacked the medical center in Lokoja, the state capital, disrupting the COVID-19 press conference and cutting away laptops and valuable documents. But in a statement on Wednesday, Kogi State Commissioner of Information and Communication, Kingsley Fanwo, said the incident was a protest by relatives of patients who were abandoned by the staff of the hospital, including a pregnant woman who was left to deliver her baby at the hospital entrance. Fanwo further explained that tension has started in the building in the state when patients and their relatives learned of a plan by the medical staff to stage a protest seeking protection from COVID-19. The government said it will carry out further investigations to ascertain the cause of the breach of peace by the protesters and also address their fears. We'll take a break here and we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
You're welcome back. Here's Fidelia Aguncha now with all you need to know regarding business.
Thank you very much, Annetta. The Presidential Economic Advisory Council has advised the federal government to adopt a unified currency exchange rate. The group gave the advice during a virtual meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday. Chairman of the council, Doyin Salami, who led the presentation, specifically expressed delight with the ongoing review of the medium-term expenditure framework and the 2020 budget. The group also charged the Buhari-led administration to do everything possible to improve the ease of doing business in the country to attract more investors. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has projected that the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic is estimated to cost Nigeria and other oil exporters in Africa a total of $34 billion in revenue. The projected decline in revenue, according to the IMF, is attributable to the dwindling global crude oil prices. IMF Director, African Department, Abebe Selassie, disclosed this at the Africa Ministerial Roundtable on COVID-19 impact on the energy sector. The fund noted that African governments would be under intense budget pressure and rise in debt burden, adding that such burden would be higher among all exporting countries. We will now shift focus to the stock market after this break. Midday trading at the NSE is closing positive as the market made a U-turn today, recovering from Wednesday's downtrend. Investors gained over 60 billion naira on renewed interest on market giants like BUA Cement, Cadbury and WAPCO, and that's why the all-share index is rising by 0.47% at the close of trading today. Now, BUA Cement, Cadbury and WAPCO, as well as Sterling Bank, led the pack of gainers today, while it was a bad trading day for MTN Nigeria, Guinness PLC, Zenith Bank and Flour Mill. Let's now look at the market summary. Over 198 million shares were transacted in the market today in deals that summed up to 3,772. Outside Nigeria, now to the global market, FTSE and Nikkei are having a bad day, while the Dow is rising by 0.26%. That's it from the world of business. It's back to Annetta Felix.
Thanks, Fidelia. Britain has offered up to 3 million Hong Kong residents the chance to settle in the UK and ultimately apply for citizenship after China imposed new security laws on the semi-autonomous region. In retaliation, Prime Minister Boris Johnson said his government will offer its 12-month extendable visa to all Hong Kong citizens eligible to apply for a British national overseas passport. Hong Kong's new national security law, which targets secession, subversion and terrorism with punishments up to life in prison, came into effect on Tuesday. Turning now to sports, Bukayo Saka has signed a new long-term contract with Premier League club Arsenal. The club made the announcement on their official website on Wednesday. Saka has made an impressive impact this season and has now made 37 first-term appearances since his debut in the Europa League in November 2018. The youngster made his Premier League debut at the age of 17 in a 4-1 win against Fulham last season. And that's it on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. Many thanks for watching. Bye for now.